Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for The Real Sports Talk. You can hit me up on Twitter at Cash Kelly. That's KASH Kelly _TRST on Twitter, Cash Kelly _TRST. And you can also like The Real Sports Talk on Facebook. Game 3 of this Heat and Knicks series, 87-70. The Knicks were without Amari Stoudemire, obviously because of the hand lacerations, and Chris Bosh was able to play in this game, although he wasn't extremely pivotal in this game for the Miami Heat. He was able to play in this game and have some moderate success, as his son was also born this morning. And as a lot of us joked this morning, the baby dinosaurs were born. Now, with the Heat and Knicks game, I'm not just making this video out of random. I'm not going to cover every game of every series, but something that I want to do, and something that is not done enough, is keeping things in perspective. And last year's playoffs for LeBron James were anything but kept in perspective. Everyone knows that LeBron failed in the NBA Finals. The Heat as a team failed, but LeBron specifically did not do what he had to do. No one disputes that. But when people say that LeBron played awful in the playoffs, when I watched the Bulls series, I watched every other series. I'm not a Heat fan, but I'm an NBA fan, and I want the truth out there about the NBA. And when I know that that's not true, it bothers me that that is not only what some people are saying, but what most people think. It really bothers me to see that. So what I'm trying to set out and do throughout this entire NBA playoffs is keep things in perspective with LeBron James, with Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, Derrick Rose, well, not Derrick Rose anymore, but all the big NBA players. I want everyone to understand the way they play, why if they struggled, that they did struggle, why if they had a big game, they had a big game, and that's why I'm making a video about this game. I'm going to go through some of the statistics from this game, but mostly I am going to talk about LeBron's fourth quarter. Udonis Haslem for the Heat had 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field today, 3 rebounds and 1 assist. LeBron James, 9 of 21, 2 of 5 from downtown, 12 of 13 from the line, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 8 turnovers was tough. Most of those came in the first half, 32 total points. Chris Bosh, 37 minutes, 3 of 5, 1 of 1 from downtown, 9 points. As we mentioned, he had a son this morning. Well, he didn't, his wife did, but you get the point. Dwayne Wade, 8 of 17, 2 of 5 from downtown, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 20 points. Mario Chalmers played the most minutes for the Heat, 40 minutes, 7 of 11, 5 of 8 from threes, and 19 points. Mike Miller had 4 points off the bench, and James Jones brought 1 point. For the Knicks, Steve Novak had a tough game today, 0 points. From threes he was 0 of 1, and from the field he was 0 of 2. Carmelo Anthony, 7 of 23, 1 of 4 from downtown, 7 of 9 from the line, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 22 points. Still, I wasn't impressed by the game he had, though. It was not very efficient. Tyson Chandler in this game went 2 of 6 with a 6 of 10 from the free throw line, I should say, and then also ended up with 10 total points. Also for the Knicks, Baron Davis had 27 minutes in this game, 2 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown, 7 points. Landry Fields had 9 points and actually played a pretty decent game for the Knicks. And then off the bench, Mike Bibby had 8 points. A lot of people didn't even know he was still in the game. And then J.R. Smith had a terrible game, 5 of 18 from the field, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, or from behind the three-point line, I should say. He had that nice dunk, but other than that, 12 points. But when you're shooting 5 of 18, and really, overall, you're shooting 5 of 22, or 23, I should say, that's just not good enough. It's as simple as that. So as we look towards LeBron James' game, I think that we all understand that in this first half, it was a sloppy game, and for the Knicks, it was really a sloppy game throughout. They looked good out of the start, but overall, the Knicks did not get good ball movement, and the Heat didn't get a lot of great ball movement today either, and I'm not trying to say that they did. But the one thing that I noticed with the Heat is, while they weren't getting the great ball movement, their shots were going down, because they have the guys on that team, like LeBron James, like Dwayne Wade, that even when things aren't going great, you're still going to get productive points. For the Knicks, Carmelo Anthony is either going to be on or he's not, and he really was not on tonight and did not have a very good game, and really has not had a very good series overall. They did point out Carmelo Anthony's playoff struggles, and I think that more has to do with what teams he's been on and the opponents he's played, as Reggie Miller mentioned on the broadcast. Now to LeBron's fourth quarter, and overall his entire game I'll break down. In the first half, he really struggled. Overall, went 2 of 7, had 12 points. But as I've mentioned throughout a lot of the times that I've come on here, 2 of 7 is not great. While you're scoring some points, it's not very efficient. And while you're getting some rebounds, that's kind of something that you know you're going to get with LeBron James. And in some cases, it's not that you should take it for granted, but you need to know that that's going to be there pretty much every game, regardless of the shooting output. As we saw with some of those triple-doubles that he still was able to put up, regardless of the fact that he did not play well overall in the NBA Finals last year. So LeBron has a tough first half, turns the ball over a bunch, did the same thing in the third quarter. Also got into foul trouble with 4 fouls, and then pretty much got shut down for halfway through the third quarter for the rest of the third quarter. Now we get to the fourth quarter where everyone says that LeBron, and then a lot of times it is true, but there also are a lot of cases where LeBron has played well in the fourth quarter, where everyone likes to act like LeBron has been the worst career fourth quarter player in the history of the NBA, which just is not true. And LeBron James comes out and he misses a 3, and then he drains 2 threes, and one of them he got a nice roll. He hit the 2 threes, and then he missed 2 layups in a row. But he continues to get the rebound and puts it back up. So ultimately, LeBron gets 2 rebounds out of that, has those big threes, and throughout the fourth quarter, I think he had 12 or 14 points, played extremely well overall. And the one thing that is not taken into account enough, and the one thing that was a deciding factor for me in picking LeBron James as the MVP this season, was the perimeter defense that he plays. When you get LeBron out on that 3-point line, the defense that he plays is just suffocating. He doesn't even need to use his arms, because if you can imagine what LeBron James would be able to do with his arms, when you can see already how well, he has the best footwork of anybody in the NBA. When you can see how well he moves, and then he has a huge frame, so you're not going around LeBron James unless you're J.R. Smith in that one stutter play. It's really scary to see how good of a defender that he overall is, and people do not take that into account as much because we only look at the offensive stats, but that's something that has to be taken into account. So LeBron overall tonight, 9 of 21, and while that's a 43% shooting percentage if you round up, a lot of people overall do this, and you're going to hear a lot of people tomorrow around the water cooler, at the lunch table at school, whatever the case may be, where you're going to be talking sports, they're going to try and tell you that, oh, well, LeBron James wasn't efficient last night, and overall that means that his fourth quarter's erased. And if that is how you feel about all NBA players, then more power to you. But if Kobe Bryant does the same thing, and I'm one of the people there that's saying this, we'll say, well, he didn't play a great overall game, but in the fourth quarter in crunch time, he really stepped up and he really was able to carry his team. And that's what I feel about LeBron James' performance tonight. The stat line, if you just look at the general stats, points, rebounds, assists, steals, wow, it looks great. But then you see the turnovers, then you see that he shot only 9 of 21 when he was a ridiculous over 53% shooter during the regular season. And you understand that he did not have his best game of the season tonight. But if we're going to give credit to other players when they have games similar to this, when they struggle throughout the game, but then in the fourth quarter, when it matters, according to everyone, and I know that it does matter, but it's not the only part of the game, and that's something that I like to stress. When it matters, according to everyone, LeBron really did step up. He played well, and it's time to give him his due on that. You pat him on the back and you say, okay, for one night, you did what I said that you couldn't. I'm not saying it because I'm not one of the critics, so to speak, but if you're a critic, you don't say, well, you beat everything. And that's what gets blurred, is that people think if you give a guy credit for one night, if you dislike him or if you are a critic of him, whatever the case may be, that you're giving up. And I'm not a critic of really anyone in the NBA. My boy Brian Scalabrine is still going to end up winning the NBA Finals MVP. But I just like to keep things in perspective. And I kind of lost my train of thought here, but the point is that if you're going to give other people credit for it, you can give LeBron... Oh, okay, I remember where I am now. if you give LeBron credit for tonight, you're giving LeBron credit for tonight. That doesn't mean if he doesn't play well or he doesn't end up playing well enough in the playoffs for the Heat to ultimately win the NBA Finals, which is pretty much a singular goal if you're a Miami Heat fan or an NBA fan in general, is that's kind of the expectation. Then you can still be a critic of LeBron and say, well, he didn't get the job done. You can still do that, but you can give the guy credit for one night. It doesn't have to be, well, I can give Kobe Bryant credit because he's won 5 championships. But LeBron hasn't won any, so I can't give him any credit because he's never won anything. So until he wins 1 or 2 titles, I can't give him any credit. That doesn't have to be how it is. And that's what we have to change about NBA fans. That's why this show is called The Real Sports Talk, because you're getting real talk, hashtag real talk. And I'll continue to be here throughout the entire NBA playoffs giving you this real talk. Hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. Like The Real Sports Talk on Facebook. I'm going to go watch the Flyers beat the Devils in OT. I will see you guys later.